some of the functions that are on the rise, I always say, if you can work with a laptop in a quiet space and Wi-Fi, you're good to go. You can work remotely. And you're even seeing the telehealth, like the health industry, getting into remote work, because now there is the digitalization of patients' records. You can work as a therapist remotely. You can work as a psychiatrist remotely. You can work as a nurse remotely, right? So of course there is the tech space, and how I usually try to explain this is, remember I said most of these companies are startups. So if you are a startup, the first order of business that you're going to have is to make sure that your products and softwares are out there for people to buy, right? So then you bring on board people like the data analysts, the cloud engineers, the product designers, the product engineers, etc. Then the next step or the next course of action is to then bring people who can sell your product or service to your customers. So you bring on board the salespeople, the marketers, and then you bring on board people who can actually take care of your customers. Then comes customer service opportunities or customer success opportunities or customer experience opportunities. Then you need people to take care of your employees. Now the support functions come: accounting, HR, supply chain, etc. Right? So that's how you look at it. So if you can work remote, if you can do your work with a laptop, a quiet space, and Wi-Fi, regardless of the paperwork and the filing, then you can work remotely. There's an opportunity for you out there, including education and e-learning. Yeah. So we talked about, we've got a question on time zones and like which time zone is great if you're a Kenyan. Now, time zones have been loosely classified into 5. We've got the Americas, we've got the APAC, we've got LATAM, EMEA, and worldwide. When we're talking about Americas, we're talking about North American countries like the US, Mexico, Cuba, etc., which in Africa you do not qualify for based off of your geographical location. Super important. APAC, Asian Pacific, that's the countries like India, Samoa, Philippines. Again, we do not qualify for those opportunities. Then there is LATAM. This is Latin American, and these are South American companies. So we've got countries like Chile, Brazil, Colombia. Again, we do not qualify for those opportunities based off of our geographical location. What we qualify for as Africans are EMEA time zone, so that is Europe, Middle East, and Africa. We also qualify for MENA, which is not here, that is Middle East and North Africa. We also qualify for jobs that are hiring globally or worldwide. Now, the difference between beyondthesavannah.co.ke, our website, and any other job board out there is that on our website, all the opportunities that you see, all the jobs that are hiring on our website are hiring in the EMEA time zone, in Africa, and globally. So that means you qualify for those opportunities based off of your geographical location. Should you want to go to, let's say, a job board like JobGather, then you do have to filter it with EMEA, global, or worldwide, or Africa. Because if you do apply to an opportunity in Americas, and then you get to the, let's say, just for some reason, the recruiter wasn't really checking, you get to the final stage, to the offer stage, or even you use a VPN and you maneuver and you get to the offer stage, then they ask you for a W-9 form, which is like the revenue authority form over in the US. You do not have that. So essentially what you have done is that you have wasted your entire time, and getting a remote job isn't easy, it isn't for the faint-hearted. You get through a series of interviews. So you go through the series of interviews and then you're disqualified based off of your geographical location, which is such a shame. Yeah. So someone asked, what do you need to work remotely? I always say, and I think I've hinted, one, your communication skills, verbal and written communication skills need to be on point, because you need to have a good command of the English language. Now, this is not a measure of your intelligence. However, English is a universally accepted common language, and that is what is used in these remote companies, right? So you need to have a good command of the English language. You need to have a working laptop, not a phone, a working laptop. And some companies will have specific specs, others will not. Most of them will not actually. Just need to have a working laptop. And then 3, you need to have a stable internet or Wi-Fi. Yeah. And for our participants in Nigeria that power situation isn't, or even in South Africa, that the power situation isn't that good, then you need to have a stable power situation going on. So if you need to have a generator or solar, please have that. And then lastly, you need to have a quiet space, because remember, you're going to be working on average 8 hours or more. Then let's talk about positioning. So what else do you need for you to land a remote job? The tools that you need to equip yourself with. One is an ATS-friendly CV. For those of you who don't know what ATS is, ATS in full is Applicant Tracking System. And this is the system that is used for shortlisting, not only for remote companies, but even for big organizations in your local country, right? So your CV needs to be working with the system and not against it. So if you need help, if you need more help with that, please reach out to us through our email. It's on our website, beyondthesavannah.co.ke. Yeah. So 1, you need an ATS-friendly resume, whether you're a student or not. 2, you need an optimized LinkedIn profile. Again, whether you're a student or a business person, you want to venture back into employment, you need an optimized LinkedIn profile. And 3, we need an introductory video. This is a new phenomenon that we're seeing, because with the rise of AI, most recruiters are now finding that you present well on paper, or you have the qualifications on paper, but when it comes to the interview, you do not present well. And that is an issue that you're finding with most African candidates. So we need to be more secure in ourselves and in our skills, because we are capable of working remotely, we are highly skilled, we are highly educated, and that is what they want to see in that introductory video. The introductory video normally needs to be like 1 minute, maximum 2 minutes, and it's you answering the question, tell me about yourself. If you need more content on that, please follow us on our social media platforms. We have done elaborate videos on how to answer that question and what that introductory video should encompass. Our social media handles are Beyond the Savannah. Beyond the Savannah on all social media platforms. Yeah. Now, of course, remote work is all great. You get to work wherever you are. You get to work for an American company, but it also comes with challenges, and it will be not prudent of us it will not be prudent of us to go through the challenges as well. So some of the challenges that we experience, again, is internet connectivity for some African countries. So what we do advise is that make sure that you have either mobile data plans or you've got portable Wi-Fi devices, right? Then when we're talking about time zone differences, that is another challenge, because working with teams that are distributed across the globe sometimes can have conflicts and there is communication delays. So what you need to have is to, one, set your personal boundaries, as well as, use tools such as Time Buddy to help you navigate that whole world, right? So when someone says 9 UTC, what does that mean? Or 6 UTC? How then does that translate to East African time? Or how then does that translate to GMT, right? And then we've also got cultural barriers. How we communicate is different. How a Ghanaian communicates and how a Kenyan communicates and how an America's candidate communicates is completely different based off of our, cultural associations. So, and that can often lead to misunderstandings, and you need to be able to reduce as much conflict as possible. So it's really, really important that you understand, 1, the global etiquette, and 2, you learn just the common etiquette of how we communicate. And one book that I always advise for you to read is Culture Map by Erin Myers. I don't know if you can type it down, but I will. Yeah, so Culture Map by Erin Myers. Please read it. It does a really, really good job of just showcasing how different cultures communicate and what to expect. Yeah, and then always remember to use, when you're communicating written communication, make sure to use emojis as much as possible. Yeah, so as to always kind of cut down whatever it is that you're communicating. Then lastly, we all face isolation when you're working remotely, and please, how to curb this is that get out more often, take exercises, have frequent work dates. For the companies that are going to give you co-working space stipend, use that. Yeah, get out of your house and interact with other human beings. It is good for us to interact virtually, but we are humans, we still need that human interaction. So go get it. So how does then Beyond the Savannah help you to become talent ready for remote work? So we do have our packages, and we do help candidates create, aside from, of course, showcasing remote opportunities that we don't charge, that is free. When you go to our website, you access the jobs for free, you get to apply for free. What we do charge is, the talent readiness part. So that is, we work on your ATS CV, we work on your CV to make it ATS. We optimize your LinkedIn profile for you. We help with the introductory videos. If you wanted to get a consultation call with me, you can also purchase it through our website. We do have coaching sessions. We do have interview preparations, as well as student package. Yeah. Then, very lastly, before we can head on over to the questions, some of the remote job sites we've got. One, of course, beyondthesavannah.co.ke. Check us out. We've got remote.com. Remember, you have to filter using time zones. We've got remotive.com. We've got JobGather as well. And of course, with any good thing, there are always scammers right there. So how then are you able to check, or what are some of the red flags that you have when you're going onto those platforms so that to avoid getting scammed? One, if you're hired on the spot, that is a scam. You're never hired on the spot. It is global competition. You're never hired on the spot. Never, not heard of. Two, if there are no face-to-face interviews, that is another huge red flag. Three, if you're offered stock or shares rather than a salary, that is another red flag. Four, if there are spelling mistakes on the job advert, again, another red flag. And then you can always use LinkedIn to just ascertain whether the company is existing or not. And when you go into LinkedIn, type the company, then check people, and then strike a conversation with someone. That's how you know. Yeah. Those are our handles. We are on all social media platforms, including YouTube. Check us out. We do post a ton of content just to help you, navigate the remote work landscape. A lot more that we could not have covered